Good morning, everyone. Today we'll be talking about introduction to retailing. Retail is a very widespread business. You can see many forms of retail from the beginning, and there are various other formats of retailing which have been generated over a period of time. So this is how it has worked over a period of time. Okay, we'll also look at some opportunities in terms of segments as well. We have about more than 833 million rural consumers, so there is a lot of opportunities for your personal care, hair care, health care. Okay, CDIT, that is we look at as white goods, okay, consumer durables and IT, electronics, food and beverages is growing. We also look at from the Indian perspective, we have about 500 million youths. Okay, so there is a lot of scope for food and beverages, apparels and accessories, mobile phones, personal care, and even to an extent of affordable luxuries. We also look at about 75 to 300 middle income households. Again, the same areas. You can see food and beverages, apparels and accessories, mobile phone, personal care, home care, as well as luxury. We also have a lot of working population. So we can look in the area of packaged foods and beverages, luxury products, consumer electronics, personal care, beauty and welfare. So this is where we can have a gross idea about how the retail sector in our country is moving, and you have so much options, so much different varieties, and such a potential market. That's also one of the reasons why you see that so many branded retailers from outsiders are eager to enter our country, because the size of the market is substantial, our spending power is substantial, our earning power is substantial, and we are really spending from rural to youths to middle income to working population. Everybody is spending, and since everybody is spending, everybody wants to get a hold of that money which everybody is spending. So that is why you can see that almost every other company in the world wants to get into our market. That's the reason why it is. We also look at luxury products. Now we have getting more and more number of millionaires. If you latest statistics suggest that we are fourth in terms of billionaires in the world. So the highest number of billionaires in the world coming from India, we stand fourth. And since the maximum number of billionaires are coming, you see there is this luxury segment which has been highlighted. 10 years ago, you would rarely see a Mercedes Benz or a BMW. Today, in our own place, we can see multiple BMWs, Audi, Mercedes Benz, even to an extent of Jaguars. Okay, we have multiple Jaguars in our own city. That's because we are getting more and more number of rich people, startups, okay, investments. So that is again creating a lot of market for these products, designer clothing, home furnishings, things like that. So overall, it's a very pretty strong market, pretty attractive market, and a lot of opportunities here. Okay, let us start with the meaning and definition. The word retail, okay, it's an Anglo-Norman French. Okay, it comes from a French word, okay, which means retail, which means to cut off. Okay, so a small piece of clothing. Okay, it was used by tailors to cut a small piece of cloth from the entire lot. If you remember, in the earlier days when we did not have these ready-made shirts, we used to get a whole cloth, okay, bundle of cloth, and what the retailer used to do was, according to your requirement, he used to cut off and give it to you. That's also the sense of what retailing is. Okay, it's a set of business activities that adds value to products and services sold to consumers for their personal and family use. So please remember, when we use the definition of retailing, we are talking about personal or family use. It is not for business use. Okay, it is not for reselling. We are looking for personal or family use. Okay, retailers are the final link in the distribution channel. That means anything, the end point, okay, are actually done by your retailers. The end point of contact is done by retailers. We can look at it through semantics. Okay, if you also want, we can look at it through semantics as well. As I told you, it's the final link in the distribution channel. Okay, so as I already told you, it's the final link in the distribution channel. Okay, we have the manufacturers, we have the dealers or warehouse or distribution centers, we have the retailers to the end customers. Okay, next we look at vertical integration. More and more companies are looking at how they can use this opportunity of retailing, either by forward integration or backward integration. Okay, so wherein they are trying to perform multiple functions in the value chain. Okay, what is backward integration is where a retailer goes back and manufactures the product. It's called as backward integration. He is very good in the business of retailing, so he also wants to get into manufacturing, so that is called as backward integration. Forward integration is a manufacturer who wants to sell now. He wants to sell, like for example, there are many factory outlets or they have their own websites where companies are selling directly to the end customers. This is called as forward integration. So we are seeing a lot of companies trying to do this. Okay, this is very important. You will get it from the examination as well as for questions as well as. So what are the basic functions of retailing? There are majorly 4 major functions: providing assortment, breaking bulk, holding inventory, and providing services. So basically, supermarkets nowadays carry up to 20 to 30,000 different items. Amazon has over 8 lakh books. Retailers provide a single stop. That is the idea of an assortment. Breaking bulk means consumers can't buy in large quantities. So what retailers do is they do buy in large quantities and give it according to the requirement of the customers. That is the reason why the basic idea of retail came. I told you in the beginning, when you go for a shop to buy a piece of cloth, I can't buy the entire cloth. That is not my requirement. So what I do is I cut off piece of cloth, and stitch it according to requirement. So that is the origin of the word retail. So breaking bulk means cutting into smaller quantities according to the requirement of the customers. Okay, so normally if you want to have cost advantages, it has to be shipped in bulk, but retail consumers can't buy in bulk quantity. So normally this is what is done by the retailers. Holding inventory, so consumers cannot hold all the inventory at their home, so that is where they want the products to be available when they want to buy it. So that job is also done by retailers. So thus this consumers are able to keep a small inventory. Okay, facilitate transfer of ownership. You may from the outside see that you just go to a shop and buy a pen, pay money, come back. There is a lot of things involved in it. So facilitating transfer of ownership. Okay, he pays for the stock for the company, keeps the stock at his store, and then gives you when you requirement in the quantities what you need. It is also a function which is done by retailer. He also maintains good relationship with customers. Whenever you go to him, he talks to you. Okay, maintains a relationship, as well as you can see that at the point of sale point, there are a lot of marketing activities, offers, and all these things. These are also facilitated by your retailers. Okay, so we'll just quickly go through what are the general characteristics of retailers. As I told you, he is a link between company, wholesaler, and ultimate consumer. Okay, he buys goods in large quantities in order to sell them to consumers in small quantities. He also maintains personal contact with customers. Okay, they deal with variety of merchandise. Okay, next we talk about retail mix. Okay, so these are the components of retail mix. Like you have marketing mix, we also have retail mix. We look at each of these in detail as we progress through the course. The most important of this is location, the variety you give, the pricing points you have, and the types of customer services that are there. We also will be looking at another most important part, that is store design and display, as well as promotional mix, the communication, variety of marketing efforts which the retailers puts in order to sell his products. So these are the things which are there. We'll be looking at each one of these as we progress